Hi friends. Well, it has been a long time since I did anything live except an intro or some ad-libbing. So I'm going to see about doing a live journal here with you, for you. Self, and now here in heart, is so very complete. Only it doesn't draw a circle. It draws more like a figure 8 between what is manifest and what is not. The greater part of you and I and everyone isn't visible to the five senses. So for that, we can thank goodness that we're moving into and in a new spot in the galaxy where the energies are very different. We crossed the galactic plane and we're on the other side of that now. And so things are different. The energies are different. And we're receiving an upgrade to our energies, to our consciousness, and to our physicality. I believe that there's a lot of our dormant DNA, Lord only knows it's not junk, that is being activated. And it's funny, information on this planet, so much has been kept secret and held to a few. And that was supported when we were in the Kali Yuga, when we were in the dark times that we've been through. Relatively speaking, I mean, everything was perfectly fine then too. It's just more pleasant to be where we are now. Okay, so things are shifting, things are changing, and I hope you feel buoyed up, at least sometimes. Our consciousness is our own, and it's a major part of taking our power back to reclaim that and to begin to spot when we're blaming anyone or anything external to ourselves. Blame is something that's a lower manifestation, a 3D consciousness kind of a thing, and we're multidimensional. We have been all along, but the energy didn't support us so well as it does now. And so that secrecy is no longer supported. And I think when we look around, we can see that that's the case. So much that once was perfectly cloaked, in spite of every effort made, comes out now. And so, just as an example, we have things like WikiLeaks, and thank God that we do, All right, so, but let's stay with self. And now here in heart. What about love? The capital L kind of love that is unconditional, that there's no hoops anyone has to go through. They can be a Hitler and you will love them completely. It's like they say the sun shines on the just and the unjust alike. There's no choosing that way. But again, let's stay with self. And now here, in heart, and come into the power of that. So be sure to be focused in your chest, to be in heart or centered when you listen. And you can even ride on my vibration or frequency. It will support you. The self in that phrase is capitalized. You are divine. And it really helps to know this. You don't have to know it. It's not necessary. I don't think there's any piece of knowledge that's necessary in any kind of an eternal way. But you are divine. And it helps you access more when you begin to realize that you're so far and away beyond what you thought you were, what you were taught that you are. That is, you know, if it's 1%, I'd be surprised. It's minuscule. You're living all of your lifetimes now. All there is now. Everything is truly simultaneous in spite of the way it plays out and the way it seems. And for that, I'll use the thing of a DVD or a CD or a book. You can open it anywhere. You can go to any track. But it's all already there. And so you can perceive it in both ways. And there's blessings to having a flexible perspective. It's not that one way is more valuable than the other. They're just different. And it's time that we were taking our power back and sticking with self, you know. I like the way Byron Katie says there's 3 kinds of business in the world, and it's so very simple. Your business, my business, and God's business. And we're at our most powerful when we stick with our business and just respect everyone else. So it's important, as far as amping up your power, it's important to stick with self in the now here. Some people will look at now here and say, well, you know, all of this, that, and the other exists now here, and that's all going on. Most of us aren't ready for that. You have to be so firmly anchored in self and now here in heart to be able to deal with all of that and keep your frequency high, keep your centeredness. And so it's a lot more fun not to try to go at things too fast. So what's this about love? This unconditional love, the real kind, the kind that people come in contact with when they cross over, and the ones that have a near-death experience, an NDE, come back and tell us. And they're at a loss for words to describe this love. And I'd say one of the consistent major focuses or factors across all people that have had NDEs is that this love, I don't have words for it. I can't say it's so special. You know, words just are ridiculous, but it makes them want to stay there. It makes them feel okay. It's like it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. They are loved 110%. And there's nothing they could do to lose that love. It's not possible. And to have a direct experience of that is very much possible and you don't have to die to get it. It's available to us now here. So, we are loved beyond any concept of the word. We are loved by Source. As we get closer and closer to who we really are, we approach that love, and we begin to experience more and more of it. It's transformative. Your life is never the same if you've even had one instant of direct experience of this unconditional love. It erases everything. It completely changes the way you look at things, and you realize that you're okay, and that everything is okay, and that it's actually perfect like it is. It doesn't need improving. We don't need to grow and develop and learn. That's just one perspective we can take on things. It's not the only one. And we need to be, to have 1,008 perspectives just for starters. You can't see yourself from only one angle and think that you've seen yourself. You've just seen an aspect of yourself. Think about one of those lead crystal spheres that's faceted all the way around. It's just covered in facets. Think of each of those facets as a different angle of perception, and so you'll see something different from each one. And in order to even begin to encompass the grandeur of what is, it takes expanding out into our divinity, into our multidimensionality, into getting rid of one way, my way is the right way. We tried really hard with effort to accomplish. Let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. The past doesn't really mean anything. It's not even really real. There's never been a time in which you existed that wasn't now. Whatever incarnation you were ever in at any point in time, it's always now. All there is now. This is much easier seen from higher dimensions, but that's no limit to you because you're on those dimensions too. And so it's a shifting, a turning of the radio dial, a shifting of awareness. It's a making room. Mostly we have to make room in our system of beliefs because we picked up a lot of beliefs along the way that were useful then, that are not useful now. The only thing holding us back is ourself. And the quickest way to cut the ropes and chains that bind us is to scrutinize carefully our beliefs as they come up and make the decision. Does this serve me now? Do I want to keep this? That's why I suggest to everybody that you adopt a few basic beliefs. Take them out for a trial run. One is, I am divine. Another one, anything is possible. And contained within the one that says, I am divine, is your multidimensionality and your vast abilities. And so, love. I like the way Abraham says, words don't teach, experience does. And I realize that these are words. But for those that are ready, and for those to whom this is relevant, and it may not be for you right now, but if this is relevant to you, then it's empowering. And you're never alone. There's only one heart, and we all share it. This love, now I haven't found this stuff out all at once, guys, but I am sharing with you from my direct experience. What I call heart vision begins to open up. It's like you begin to see through the eyes of Source. And no matter what you look at, you're in love with it. It doesn't matter. You adore it. Whatever it is, it can be a bug. I'm serious. I mean, I've had some nice conversations with, what are those things called? Walking sticks. And praying mantises. And just whatever it is. Sure, a puppy or a kitty or a horse is cute. They're easy to love. But this love, it's like the sun shines on everything. This love, you can even take it deeper. But this is a real experience, and it's available to everyone. You are Source. Source loves everyone and everything. Source is love. And so you have access to this. So much of it is the frequency dial and beliefs, working through, sifting through our beliefs and ditching most of them and adopting new ones. And sure, it plays out over what seems to be time. That's okay. That's just one perspective. At any point in your now here, you also have every other perspective available to you. Every facet on the sphere is an angle of perception that you can take. And you'll know you're getting somewhere when you can look in a mirror and love yourself. Not automatically see the zit on your nose, or that your makeup isn't right, or your hair is mussed up, or, you know, it needs to be washed, or you know, the ways that we've been trained to view the self, you can let go of those. You can just drop them. That's not how Source sees. And if it's your desire, you get to see how Source sees. I said Source is love. And it goes beyond the little g God and gods in the Bible and in our myths and things. This is beyond that. Not only is Source love, but everything that is made of it. Every atom in your body is zinging with love, with light, with joy. You can work with it or against it. You can go with the flow, or you can swim upstream. And you know what? Nobody's going to condemn you. Nobody who's even remotely awake is going to condemn you for any choice you make. You're just, love doesn't do that. Love doesn't condemn. Love doesn't criticize. Sometimes love provides guidance, support, a leg up. But it's always wholly and completely composed of love. So, it's something you can experiment with. Experiment with being divine. Experiment with 5 minutes where you decide you're not going to listen to mind, you're just going to be in heart, and you're going to feel your way through things and into things. There's a kind of a sensing that goes on within heart. And remember, heart can think also. It has neurons, it produces neurotransmitters. It's a legitimate aspect of, let's call it the mind. So you could go 5 minutes without reference to left brain. Again, nothing wrong with left brain. It's just that it's a 3D thing. It's only one perspective. There are higher ones. Okay. Right now I feel like my heart has wings on it. You know, those little tildes or whatever they are that I put the heart in the middle of, that's meant to represent wings. You don't weigh anything. You have such awesome power that you could literally levitate if you could believe it first. It's backwards. This is the backwards world, 3D. And when people say, show it to me and then I'll believe it, that's perfectly backwards. Don't try to show it to them. Even if you did, they would still be skeptical and not believe it. And it just doesn't work like that. You believe it first. You have that perfect faith that's spoken of in many scriptures. And then you see the manifestations. It takes staying in the now here and never doing a this to get a that. That's using things. And that's not to be completely in the now here. So we don't go into heart because we want to ascend or because we want to be able to levitate or because anything. The only because that works for me is love. Just love. Love is just being. And all true being goes on only in the now here. Most of us are smeared and spread out across time and space, and we don't gather ourselves into our point of power, which is the now here. We've not been trained to do it. It's never even been, unless you've been with my journals a while, it's not been suggested to you that this is a legitimate way to be. To so let everything go, including left brain, including the past and the future, to so let everything go and trust yourself to the now here. And to heart, to source, to heart flow. And to feel into that for no reason. Joy, happiness. Exploring not for any reason, just for exploration's sake. We aren't who we think we are. We're so much faster. Maybe it has to be shielded from our perception for a while. during 3D incarnation. It's so huge. You're the creator of everything in your life. You're used to thinking of yourself as a body, or as a body and a mind, or maybe as a mind inhabiting a body. I don't know. But you're the room that you're sitting in. You're the couch, the floor, the walls, the lights, the bugs, the birds, everything. You're everything. Everything. And you're in charge of that. And it's wonderful. It's really okay to trust. The universe is really a wonderful place, and so is planet Earth. She is not ailing, she's not dying, and all of that. You know, that's just more manipulation and control. When we step up and out of fear, when we take our power back, we can't be manipulated anymore. And so we laugh at things that we once used to take so seriously. Now, faith is present when you don't know and you're trusting, and you can come to a complete kind of a trust, a belief that is faith. I will say there are also times, and I know probably most of you have experienced times of true inner knowing. Something will be revealed to you, and you know it, and you trust and believe in it more than you trust and believe that you know your own name. And so, in the presence of knowing, no faith is required. No trust is required. It's just an isness kind of a thing. Things only seem scary and terrible. They're not. And I know there are some that would have me committed, or think that that's an appropriate action to take. All I can say is it's available for yourself to explore, not to reach out, but to reach in and explore. The more in you go, the more out you are. Oh, let me see. Is this the journal? It is. Okay, friends, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this one, and I'm going to do another journal. And this one is called 3 Steps to Heaven. And it'll be a little bit like a continuation of this. So, namaste. And we're receiving an upgrade to our energies, to our consciousness, and to our physicality. I believe that there's a lot of our dormant DNA, Lord only knows it's not junk, that is being activated. And it's funny, information on this planet, so much has been kept secret and held to a few in what is manifest and what is not. The greater part of you and I and everyone isn't visible to the 5 senses. So for that, we can thank goodness that we're moving into and in a new spot in the galaxy where the energies are very different. We cross the galactic plane, and we're on the other side of that now. And so things are different. The energies are different. The spot when we're blaming anyone or anything external to ourselves. Blame is something that's a lower manifestation, a 3D consciousness kind of a thing. And we're multidimensional. We have been all along, but the energy didn't support us so well as it does now. And so that secrecy is no longer supported. And I think when we look around, we can see that that's the case. So much that once was perfectly cloaked, in spite of every effort. Hi, friends. Well, it has been a long time since I did anything live except an intro or some ad-libbing. So I'm going to see about doing a live journal here with you, for you. Self, and now here in heart, is so very complete. Only it doesn't draw a circle. It draws more like a figure 8 between, and that was supported when we were in the Kali Yuga, when we were in the dark times that we've been through. Relatively speaking, I mean, you know, everything was perfectly fine then too. It's just more pleasant to be where we are now. Okay, so things are shifting, things are changing, and I hope you feel buoyed up, at least sometimes. Our consciousness is our own, and it's a major part of taking our power back to reclaim that and to begin to